We will start from today learning what we recite in the Salat. So we really understand what we are saying. And inshallah this may continue for a few days because I want to go into the very details of these things. Before we start on these items, there are a couple things I want to revisit so it will be easy for us to follow. And the two things that I want to mention briefly is one, when we combine the two nouns or one noun and one pronoun, how does it work? The second thing is that if we combine a verb with a noun, how does that work? And we have been following that, but today there will be a repetition of that. So just want to repeat briefly that if we have a noun, which I use the word kitabun, and noun always have two pesh at the end, and the meaning is a book. And if we have another noun, which is Allahu, and Allahu has one pesh at the end. If you want to establish a relationship between these two, we put an of. This is called the rule of Zafar, combining two nouns. So it will be a book of Allah in English. In Arabic, we make a change in both of these words. So on the first word, we remove one page, so it becomes kitabu. On the second one, we take the last letters page and change to a zir. So it becomes Allahi and kitabu. When we read them together, we do not pronounce this alif, so it becomes kitabullahi, which is the book of Allah. So this first one was a noun and second one was a noun. But if we have a situation where the first is a book also, same as before, but the second one is not a noun but it is a pronoun. And we will take one example of that, which is letter ka with a zabar. This means you, one person, single person, you. Okay. So now we want to combine these two. So again, we do the same thing. We put off in between, and this is a book. In this situation, the first one changes the same way. It becomes kitabu, but pronoun does not change. It stays as it is. Okay, so kaf has a zabar, it stays zabar on it. So this word will now be kitabuka. Very important. Kitabuka, book of you or your book. So we have made a relationship that book now belongs to someone. Here book belongs to also someone, but he's a noun here, it is a pronoun here. So keep these two in mind. We will be using a lot today. Then one more thing I want to point out, that if we have a verbal statement, and verb I use usually these three letters, khalaqa, when we put three zabar on them, the meaning becomes he, third person, and past tense, created. Now, if there is someone who is being created, the full word for that is al-insanu. Al-insanu. Now, important thing is that last letter has a pesh on it. Now, as soon as I join these two together and make the word, he created the man, the rule of combination is that this one who is creating is known as file. File is a doer, and in English it is subject. The one where work is being done, al-insanu, it is called maf'ul. Work is being done on it, and in English it is called object. But the rule is that in Arabic, as soon as you bring a file and a maf'ul and a subject and object together, this word file has an effect of changing the last letters pesh to a zabar. So this is the characteristic of the maf'ul, that the information goes inside by in English we don't change, but in Arabic this word has to be changed from a pesh to a zabar. So now you read khalaqal insana, you don't pronounce this alif in the middle. Khalaqal insana, he created the man. So these two rules will keep coming back and forth, so keep in mind these two. Now let's go and start inshallah learning what we recite in the Salat. We start the prayer by saying Allahu akubar. So just briefly mentioning that these are the three root letters that we start, alif, lam and ha, and we make a noun by putting a zer, ilah, lam with a sabar and alif, and last letter ha, when it is joined it is written this way. And always noun has two pesh. So ilahun means God. Anything can be worshipped as God. Now as soon as you put al before that, al brings the meaning the, and we have done this before, but just to recall because today we'll be using a lot. The God is with a capital G, which is the ultimate. Okay, when we combine these two, al ilahun, by the rule of al, two pesh change into one, so it becomes ilahu. Okay, if you combine these together, this alif is not written and pronounced. So if you just combine this lam here, two lams are there, so you can put a shadda or tasdeed, and alif is there, and this just becomes a line there. So this is the word Allahu. So the full word is always Allahu. Allahu means the ultimate God, the creator. So keep that word in mind. Second thing is that we have these three letters, kaf, ba and ra, kabara. This means to be big or to be great. Okay, to be great. Okay, first we make a noun with that, and the rule is that in many words the noun is made by putting a ya or ye in between the second and the third letter. So if I put a ya or ye in there, it will be kabi, and it's pronounced kabirun. So I only added ye in between. And there are many words that are made at this wazn, qadir, azim, shaheed. All those are the nouns where one letter ya, ye is added. So kabir means great. Okay, now that is one form of that. Another form of making is that if you add an alif in the beginning of these three letters and pronounce them this way. Join these three letters and put on the zabar on alif, sukoon on kaf, ak, zabar on the ba, and a pesh on the last letter. Akbaru. This type of formation is called superlative degree. In English we have good, better, best. In Arabic, superlative degree is made by putting an alif in the beginning and putting a pesh at the end. And we know many words. Asghar, which is actually asgharu. Afzal, afzalo is the full word. So all those words that you use are superlative. And what is the meaning of superlative? Greatest.
So can I ask you a question?
Mm-hmm.
In the 99 names when we read,
Yes.
some of the places is always ending with u. Ya Karimu, Rahimu,
Yeah.
Jabbar, Mutakabbir. So makes it superlative is what it is.
If it is in that format. Okay, but it is also in this format, al-qadir, al-azimo. So when you put al, kabirun will become kabiru. So those are most of the names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Al-Qadiru. There is a one pesh at the end because of the al. Okay? So some Asma'ul Husna are in this format, some are in this format. Okay? But the one which we are going to use here is Akbaru. Allahu Akbaru. But when we stop at the end, we pronounce this pesh as a sukoon. The important thing is that in the writing you will still have to write Akbaru, pesh. But in the reading, if that's the last word, you can stop and say Akbar. So we start the salat by saying Allahu Akbaru or Allahu Akbar. God, Allah is the greatest one. Okay, so that is the beginning of the salat. After that, we recite tasbih, Subhanak Allahumma. So let's understand what that means. The root letters are Sin, Ba and Ha. The meaning of these three root letters is to float or to swim. Okay, just write down float. Okay. These are three letters, so they belong to the group of the words we call fa'ala. And we have learned that we can make bigger words by putting more letters in there. So in the middle letter, if you double it up, it becomes fa'ala. So this will become sabbaha. Middle letter has a shadda or tasdeed. So what is the meaning of sabbaha? Sabbaha means to glorify, to do tasbih. So that is the meaning of this word. Now, from this word, sabbaha, a noun is created which is pronounced as subhanun. So this is actually the full word, noun, subha, and always two pesh at the end is the sign that this is a noun. The meaning of this word subhanun is glory or glorification or tasbih. Okay, so glory is glorious or glory. There are many meanings you can say, but the full word is subhanun. Okay, now I'm going to take this word subhanun. Subhanun and combine it with the letter kaf with a zabar. So glory, okay, and you. This is one person, you. Okay. So what is the rule of combining these two? If I put off in between, it will be glory of you or your glory. Okay. What's the rule? So this was a subhanun actually to start with. So rule is that when we combine these together, one pesh goes away and pronoun don't change. So final word will be subhanoka. Important thing is that keep in mind, until this now, this word is subhanoka. We are not combining it with anything else. Independently, if you are using these two words, the meaning of these two words together, when you write down together, you write down subhanoka. Subhanoka means glory to you, tasbih to you. Okay, glorious are you. Okay, so that's the meaning of subhanoka. So at this time, this noon has a pesh on it. Okay, now I'm going to introduce one rule here, which is that first of all, I am going to use these three letters. I can use any other letters also. Kaf, Waw, Lam. This means to say. And we have learned the grammar that if I put alif in the beginning, it will be aqulu. Aqulu means I say. Af'alu, I do. Aqulu, I say. Aqulu means I say. Okay. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to write down this word in parentheses. It's not in the text, but I'm just adding, just like in English we sometimes add something in the parentheses. Aqulu. Okay. I say. Okay. What am I saying? I say Subhanuka, but I am is the file here, doer, right? Subhanu is the maful. Work is being done on that. So as soon as you do the work on something, rule is that khalaqal insana, last letter changes to zabar. Okay. So this is the actual format of that. If you look at that, subhanaka is the word. Subhanaka. To reach to this point, we had to go through several steps. This rule is called hazaf. Hazaf means something which is not in there, but it is understood as it is there. Mahzuf or hazaf means something which is not part of it, but it has to be there to understand. Just like in English, we have to do this all the time. We put something in the parenthesis to make it understand. Okay?
Hazaf means there's something taken out.
No, it was not there to begin with, but it is understood that you are the one who is saying Allahu Akbar. Okay?
Implicit.
Implicit, yes. So you are starting the Salat, and after saying Allahu Akbar, you are saying Subhanaka. You could say, I say Subhanaka, but you don't have to say. Okay? But, or you can say he says, but it is better to say I say, because I'm the one who's praying here. So any verbal statement will change this to Subhanaka. Okay? So that's the first thing. Subhanaka. So we are, as soon as we start the Salat, we are saying, I am claiming, I am saying that you, O Allah, are glorious. Have the glorification. So I'm praising Allah in this way by saying, I am saying that. Okay? I'm saying, which means I believe and I submit and I say this thing with full understanding. Okay? So Subhanaka by itself has so much understanding in it. Okay? Now, another thing, the word after that is Allahumma. Okay? Say all the time. Okay? Now look at this one, this word. We know this word, Allah, who. Okay? Allah, who. Now I'm going to add a meme at the end. Okay, with a shadda and a zabar. Okay. If I write down these two things together, this ha which is written this way becomes the ha with the do chashmi ha. Okay. When I write down a combination, so it will become something like that. This ha I'm going to write down this way. Meme with a shadda or and a tasdeed and a zabar. Okay, so this is Allah, who is there. To pronounce it will be hum ma. What is the meaning of this meme? The meaning of this meme is ya. In English it is O. So instead of saying O Allah or Ya Allah, Ya is in the beginning, but I'm putting the meme at the end. The meaning is that O Allah. So now I'm addressing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala directly. Glory be to you, O Allah. Okay, so that is Allahumma, the next word. Then you read together, Subhana Kallahumma. You join kaf with the lam here. Okay, Subhanaka, kaf has a zabar. So you join that kaf with this lam and don't pronounce this alif in between. Okay? Just like we say Kitabullah, so we drop the alif there. So you're saying Subhana ka, O Allah, you, I praise or I glorify. I say that glory is to you, O Allah. Subhanak Allahumma. The next word is wa bihamdika. Waw means and, simple thing. And we have seen this word ha, mim, and dal means to praise. Okay. Noun we make by this rule that we combine ha and mim. Ham and two pesh always at the end. Hamdun means praise. Okay. Now combine this hamdun with ka. Hamdun ka, which means I'm putting an off in between. You and praise. Okay, so what's the rule? Well, as soon as you combine to bring an off in between, one pesh goes away, pronoun does not change. Hamduka, your praise. Hamduka means praise of you or your praise. Now we are going to put a B, which is a harf-e-jar. Harf-e-jar here is, let's translate with. It's a preposition. First thing harf-e-jar does, it looks at the next noun and looks at the last letter and pesh it changes to zair. So now it is bi hamdika. Exactly the word in the there. Now what am I saying actually? I'm saying Aqulu, I say, Subhanaka, glory to you, Allahumma, O Allah, wa means and, bihamdika, with your praise. So I'm glorifying you with your praise, not with anything else. Okay? Wa bihamdika, and with your praise I'm glorifying you, I'm doing your tarif, I'm doing your hamd, I'm doing everything with that. Okay, so that is the next word. Okay, let's look at the next after that.
Saying I'm glorifying you and praising you.
But with your hamd, B is there. You have to translate B as a with.
With praise.
With your, I'm doing your tarif by with these words. Okay. Okay. So next word, wow means and. Okay. Next word is ba, ra, and ka. Okay. Baraka. Now these are three letters and they belong to Bab Fa'ala. We are going to make a bigger word, and we have seen how to make the bigger word, but in this case we are making a bigger word by adding these two letters, ta and alif. Here I am putting ba here, ra here, and ka there. So I am adding in the beginning a te, and after the first letter I am putting in alif. Okay, so if I combine these words become tabaraka. Tabaraka. This rule is called, when we make a word by adding two letters in this position, this is called Bab number 6. We did up to Bab number 4 and Bab number 10. We didn't do Bab number 6. One of the rules of making bigger words is you add a te and an alif in this position. So what's the meaning of tabaraka? Tabaraka means to be blessed. To be blessed. Okay. Now I have mentioned that the name of the Bab is also the third person's grammar. Fa'ala, he did. Okay. So the name of the Bab is Tabaraka. So the meaning of Tabaraka, even though it is the name is coming from these root letters, but after we make a Bab like this by adding these two, first of all, the meaning is to be blessed, but grammatically the meaning of this word is he is blessed. Third person, Fa'ala, he did. So whenever we say the name of the Bab is third person grammar also. So it means he is blessed. Okay? Or it is blessed. You can apply both. Okay? So the meaning is that so far, just the word Tabaraka, as you see in there, means it is blessed or he is blessed. But we don't know at this time what is this he or what is this it. Let's look at the next word. Next word starts with these three letters, Alif, Sin, and Mim. It means to name someone. And the noun is Ismun. Ismun means name. We use this all the time. Ismun means name. Okay? Now first thing, do that. Combine by the rule of Izafa by adding a kaf at the end. Okay? So this will become Ismoka, right? Ismoka. Ismoka means your name, right? So this word became your name. Now I want you to pay attention that what is on meme here. Originally we were 2 pesh, now it is only 1 pesh. Ismoka. Look at this word. Khalaqa. He created, right? We have been following this format. Okay, if I have the word Allahu after that, notice what is the last letter of that is a pesh. Okay, if you find that this last letter has a pesh, then this will replace this he here. So this will go away. Okay, so what does last letter do here? The pesh, it replaces the pronoun, right? What is here? Last letter has a pesh. Ismo. Okay. What is the noun before? Khalaqa is a verb. He created. Here, he is blessed. Okay. So the word before that is Tabaraka. Tabaraka. So this has it in it or he in it, right? So what will happen? This pesh will remove this here. So now translate these two words together. Blessed is his name. Not anymore. Blessed is his name. And we know who is his. Allahumma. O Allah, hamd is yours and blessed is your name.
It's not his name, it's your name.
No, ka is there. If you want to say who, you can read it Ismohu. There's no problem in that. Okay. If you say Ismohu here, then it will be, as long as this pesh, if this pesh is not there, then it will not work. On Ismo, ka you have the choice. You can say Ismo Kallah here. Okay. Blessed is Allah's name. Blessed is your name. We are, in every word we are addressing him directly. Notice that? We are talking to Allah. You, constantly saying with that. Okay? Very powerful words in this thing. I mean, if we pay attention to that. Okay? So next thing we did, we said, oh Allah, your name is so blessed. Okay? Tabara kasmuka. Then we'll say one more thing after that. Okay, what are we saying after that? N, Lam, Waw are the root letters for the next word. These are three letters, they belong to the group of Fa'ala. We are going to do the same thing we just did in the Tabaraka. We are going to add Ta and Alif in there. Okay, so what this will become? Ta, N, Alif, Lam and Waw. Okay, because we added a Ta and an Alif in these three letters, N, Lam and Waw. When we pronounce, this is pronounced as a Tafa'ala. That means this last letter sound is Zabar, but Waw is a mismatch with the sound, so we replace this by a small letter, a small Alif like this. Okay, so now if I write down these together, this is Ta'ala. Okay, the word became Ta'ala. What is the meaning of Ta'ala? Allah means to high. Allah, the highest thing, right? But Ta'ala is exalted, very, very high. Okay, to make someone high. Okay, or to exalt, and noun is exalted. So now we are saying exalted, but which is not done yet. We are just using the word very high, very exalted. Okay, let's look at the next word. Jim, Dal and Dal. Jadada. This means the Shan Shaukat, majesty. Okay, these are the root letters. So the noun from this is made by putting two dals together with the tashdid. So it's a Jaddun. Jaddun means majesty. What is majesty? We use the word for the kings. And majestic, something you see very ala, shan shaukat wali. हाँ, तो वो मैजेस्टिक के लिए जो बहुत हाई स्टेटस की शान आ रही है, जिसमें शौकत है, ये जद्दुन कम है. दैट्स द मीनिंग ऑफ जद्दुन, राइट? नाउ टेक दिस वर्ड जद्दुन and combine with kaf. Okay, put an off in between. Okay, so rule is that this will be you, and you is saying is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is majesty. Okay, so what's the rule of combination? Pronoun will not change. These two dhammas will become into one. So it becomes Jadduka. Jadduka means your majesty or majesty of you. Okay? Ta'ala, apply before that. Ta'ala. Glorious, not glorious, but exalted is the majesty of you. Your majesty is exalted. Okay, so that's what the next word we are saying about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that you are majestic and highest exalted position you have in terms of the majesty. Okay, so we are constantly praising Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with best of the words that can be there.
So,
Then,
sorry, is it passive then? Your majesty is exalted, or we exalt your majesty?
wa ta'ala, just like a tabaraka, it is exalted.
So passive.
Yeah. Well, the meaning is to be blessed. So it's actually meaning also has that in there. Or to be exalted. Okay. And again, you can translate he is exalted because the name of the Bab is the third person. So as soon as you jaddoka, the space will remove that he there from there. Okay. So your majesty is exalted instead of it is exalted. Your majesty is exalted. Okay. Last tarif is wala ilaha ghairuka. Okay. Again, the word is ilahun. Ilahun means God. La means not. Okay. And when we put la in the front, we say la ilaha all the time. The effect of la is it changes this to a zabar. So la ilaha, there is no God. We are denying existence of any deity right now, except the next three words are, next word is ghain, ya and ra. Noun is ghairun. Ghairun means other. We use this word in Urdu also. Ghair means other. Someone who is not yours is ghair. Okay. Then you combine ghairun with ka again. Ka is pointing to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, right? So this is you. Okay. Ghairun and ka will make it ghairuka. Okay. Other than you or other of you is other than you. Proper English will be other than you. La ilaha, there is no God, no deity other than you. Okay. So that is where we are praising Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in so many different ways that actually if we ponder on these words when we are standing in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we just say, our minds are programmed to say that, we don't even think what we are saying. Okay? If you pay attention, you ponder on these things, they are preparing you right in the beginning of the Salat to say whatever you want to pray after that. Okay? So we will stop at this point, inshallah.